And we're live. I believe we're live. My goodness, what's going on, everybody? I am so sorry about that. Welcome to VKH Live. I'm your host, Jeff DeWitt. Can everyone hear me? Looks good on my end, I think. Maybe if I just check around here. Yep, sweet. Okay, cool. Apologies for that. It's storming down here pretty bad. Had to reset the old internet and also had a bunch of special setups to do for this stream, but I promise you it'll be worth it. So this is going to be a special stream for those of you who are new. This is welcome to VKH Live. It is put on by a website, an awesome website called VKH Press. We cover Japanese rock and visual kei music. We are your one-stop shop for all things news, reviews, interviews, anything to do with J-Rock and visual kei. We got you. Definitely check out our links in the description. Takes you to our website and social media. We got all kinds of stuff going on. So today's going to be a very interesting topic because what we're talking about is YouTube music. So for those of you who aren't familiar, YouTube music is basically, you might have heard of YouTube music, in the past, but this is a different YouTube music now. Basically, YouTube music has been rebranded as a streaming app to compete with like Spotify and Apple Music. So if maybe some of the fans kind of see where I'm going with this, but I decided I wanted to take a look and see, how the app runs. And, there's a web app and a mobile app. So we can go through the web app first, and I can kind of describe some of the general impressions that I've gotten so far. And then a lot of this will be first time reacting. And then I do also have the mobile app hooked up here. So we'll be able to take a look at that as well. So we get to see how it works, but then we're also going to kind of see how good it is for J-Rock and visual kei music, because I think we all know that, and I'm sure this is maybe in a lot of foreign markets, but the regional availability with our music is obviously very touch and go. Only recently, some of the larger bands just had their music videos made available. So so we're gonna go through both. So we're gonna check out the app. We're gonna check out the music on the app. And on the off chance that I'm learning from my our Coachella stream, where YouTube kind of just shot our stream out of a cannon and into everyone's recommended list. So if that happens, hello, check out VKH Press if you want to see cool Japanese rock stars and real life anime characters playing guitar. Also, stick around, see if you like some of the artists that we bring up here, and at the very least, you'll get to check out how the app works. So I know this is kind of this was more of a topic than I thought it was when I first had the idea. So now I'm definitely going to try and make this as informational as I can. So just a couple quick points. You are looking at YouTube music right now. In terms of the app design and everything, it's very like Spotify clone based. So it really does look like it's like a shell, this is an early kind of stage app, so I'm not expecting a ton. I have run through this a little bit, but just in terms of the way it's laid out, if it's laid out with Spotify, if you're familiar with Spotify, then you're going to be familiar with this. So basically, I'm signed in with my personal YouTube account here. I hope that moving up didn't mess up anything. Let's see. No, we're good. Okay, so I'm signed in with my personal YouTube account here, and the really interesting thing about this is that it is a lot of the big draw, I guess, from this would be Spotify was the first streaming service, I guess, and then Apple's big draw was Yeah, but we're pulling from iTunes, so we have like all this other music, and so that's kind of like the current king of the streams for our our little scene. Just because we do have they do have access to a lot of Japanese artists on Apple Music, but YouTube Music's kind of low key big selling point is that it's going to use your entire profile and recommend music to you based off of that. So if you're on YouTube already, like checking out music or checking out videos in general, it's going to pull based off of whatever account you use to sign up for YouTube Music with. I should probably double back a little bit and talk about like the pricing. The pricing structure is kind of negligible. It's kind of similar for Apple Music or Spotify, but basically YouTube Red, which was like the paid service to like remove ads and you got access to YouTube's TV shows and stuff, has been upgraded or rebranded to YouTube Premium, and under YouTube Premium you have YouTube Red and you have YouTube Music. So I believe anybody with YouTube who had YouTube Red like myself automatically got upgraded to YouTube Premium. I think we keep the same price. I could actually look that up. To YouTube Premium. But yeah, so this is kind of packaged in a little bit with YouTube Red. So if you have YouTube Red, you actually have YouTube Music. Is kind of the main thing I wanted to get across. It's jumped up to $12 a month instead of $10 a month. If you were signed up already, you get to stick at $10 a month. Let's see. Sorry, just trying to pull up some of the details on this. So yeah, YouTube Music itself is going to be $10, and then YouTube Premium altogether is going to be $12. So if you're looking at it, I'm trying to make sure that it's just an add-on. Yeah, okay. So it's a $2 add-on on top of the music at this point. So if you're coming in like completely brand new to this, you're probably gonna sign up for YouTube Music Premium, which is well, for starters, there's a free version that has ads and everything like Spotify. And we're going to get into this, so if it doesn't make sense right now, but you're going to have a free version. There's going to be ads. There's going to be limitations on things, just like in Spotify. And then you're going to pay $9.99, which is similar to Spotify, for the YouTube Music Premium. And then if you want to pay an additional $2, so you're at $11.99, you get YouTube Premium, which is what YouTube Red used to be. So, God, this is so confusing, but this is where we're at right now. So I don't know, I did my best, but yeah, it's getting kind of wild in that sense. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this. So this is my home screen, and it's actually this is music.youtube.com. This is the YouTube Music web app. This is based on I can tell that this is based on my browsing history inside of my own YouTube account, just on regular YouTube, because we've got Gorillaz up here. Fame on Fire is a band that I've looked up. So you've got the new recommendations. Let's see. So there's the new recommendations button, I guess. Let me refresh that just to see. So just in terms of some examples, the big one that I wanted to pull up that like surprised me was, so you can go to Hot List, and this is kind of like their trending page. Like this has nothing to do with me, really, to be completely honest. Got a little Marilyn Manson there, but yeah, I think that's just by coincidence. None of the music or videos that I browse would ever warrant a lot of this. Maybe Paramore, maybe on the low. So they are bringing over their trending tab, which or a version of that, which never worked out well for YouTube, like YouTube channels. So I'll always be critical of this. This is kind of like the equivalent of Apple's like Beats stations, like the Apple Music radio stations that kind of just like threw all these mixes at you and all of these playlists at you, and kind of hamstrung the entire artist discovery experience. So I'm always going to be a little bit critical of seeing these trending tabs because they always just grow and get big. This one's small right now, but for example, this is like currently, last I checked, like earlier today, it was like number 3 on, or number 6 or something like that on the YouTube trending. So that's obviously being pulled in from that. But one thing that really threw me off guard is kind of like how deep it's going for this, because we've kind of seen this in YouTube, but we really haven't seen it in YouTube music. So I'm seeing when it misses, it definitely misses, but when it hits, it's hitting pretty hard, So like I've listened to this, I've listened to this, right? Some of these playlists are a little, this one's just themed for summer, so that one's like pretty easy. Hangout favorites, that's pretty interesting because I do watch a lot of live streams using Google Hangouts. I'm wondering if they got like the tag from the videos for that. But this is a section I read about. It's the live performances section, and you see we've got Zombie here, and we've got Duran Gray performance here. So they are basing it off of my personal music. So Motionless in White, Cold Rain. I believe this one's definitely a bit of a staple. I think it's going to take a while before I'm like completely aware of like which of these are like going to be here for sure. Constantly, like Endless Summer obviously seems like, just a collection of playlists for the summer. I would say it's weird it's in the middle of the page when like all of like the ones that I'd be interested in are the curated ones, that are here. Actually, it looks like they're interspersed. It looks like it's being alternated a little bit. Like this is recommended for me. And then this is a playlist, another playlist. Okay, a few playlists, and then another recommended, and a playlist, another recommended. New videos, this is pretty good. Falling in Reverse is someone I would be interested in. Lil Xan is not someone I'm interested in, but I understand why that's a recommendation for me because I indulge in the occasional trap rap. Polka Dot Stingray is a band that I was checking out recently, so it is good that they got that. I was looking up XXXTentacion's music since he died recently. It was kind of seeing what he'd been up to right very recently. So like I said, some of it's very hit, some of it's very miss. Crowd of Rebellion I'm very into. Marshmello, I've clicked on a few of their songs, so they're suggesting that. It's already, if anyone hasn't used YouTube, this is kind of like the vibe of YouTube anyway, is that it has this algorithm that kind of is like, yeah, you want this, you want this, yeah, you want this, you want this. And it gets better and better the more you use it. I do also use YouTube a lot for music anyway. So your experience may vary from this. Like your experience may be like wild and random if it's like your first time on YouTube. Or if it's your first time like using YouTube for music. If we jump over to library, okay, so here's something that was interesting. One thing that caught me off guard, this just reminded me, I'll jump back to what's in my play history because that's very relevant to this next point. I searched on... So like throughout the app, it's like all of these suggestions they are kind of like related to what you're into. I was scared a little bit at how, I guess like how knowledgeable the YouTube music is getting in certain ways, because it seems to be using my entire YouTube account to like be determining my music. And if any of you guys use YouTube for like a lot of different things, you can see how that might be a little weird. It's like having your entire browsing history being used, to pick out your music. You may not want everything that you may not want the tax returns that you were, looking up, your IRS forms, informing what kind of music you listen to, for example. In my case, I use YouTube for a lot of music stuff, a lot of like goofy meme stuff. I'm subscribed to like people like PewDiePie and stuff like that. And then a lot of politics. I watch a lot of politics, a lot of political debates from like every single different type of like stance. I don't like I'm not like on just one thing. I'm watching debates between like liberals and conservatives, social justice and alt-right, libertarians, authoritarians. So that's like maybe like a third, the other third's memes and the other third's music, right? Well, my music, I don't like to be very political, for example, right? Like I just, I like to keep my music apolitical. And I think if any of you have, I don't really have any strong political leanings, I would say, but I'm very interested in watching, everyone like hash things out and discuss it and from all the different views. I used to be in speech and debate in high school, so I'm a debate nerd. Sorry, it's just kind of more into the game than I am into the content of the game. The point is that maybe you wouldn't necessarily want the content of certain things that you search informing, what's going on. Or you might find that a little weird, right? I don't know. Am I alone in that sentiment? Let me know in the chat. But basically, this is what I got when I was searching. So I had searched for like rock music or something like that, and I'm just leaving it here in last play because these were the last two that I played on the phone app. Obviously, got some v-kei because I have a lot of v-kei. You can see it from in here. My favorites list, which is privated, is a lot of political debates and stuff like that cover a lot of topics. So I got this really hot button Bad Religion song called The Kids Are Alt-Right, which, by the way, that's going to like in a week, that's going to be all over Twitter. But my point is that it was a little disconcerting the way that one part of my browsing experience was like inserted into another part of my browsing experience. I'm trying to think of like a similar parallel. Like maybe you watch a lot of Let's Plays. That used to be something I used to be really big into. Like you watch like a lot of video games, like a lot of video game Let's Players. Like the kind of music they use for gaming is usually like really heavy dubstep and like, really intense stuff like Cell Dweller sometimes, or at least like bro step stuff like Skrillex. Maybe you like watching Let's Plays, but you don't want to have that aspect of your browsing like inform your music. Like maybe you're into soft rock and you don't want like savage dubstep industrial music playing. So I can think of a variety of situations in which people would get a little freaked out by this, because I was a little freaked out by it. Because I looked into that song, because Bad Religion is obviously a huge band and everything like that, but it wasn't that big of a release that I would have found it on my own. So I was definitely a little bit perturbed that, and I could see the source so well. It's almost like it was like, hello, YouTube debater watcher, look at this, so I could see people, it being like YouTube just being like, hello, YouTube gamer, Let's Player watcher. This is going to interest you. Here's some wub wub dubstep music that they play in all your game trailers, and it's like I could see this being a huge problem. In other words. Okay, so that's enough of a ramble about that. I would say that may or may, depending on how this app stabilizes out, that may be the most or least significant part about this app. This could be the thing that everybody's talking about with this app. It could be the thing that no one's talking about. So basically, it's either going to be like, oh, okay, nobody noticed it, or it's going to be like YouTube's reading my mind and picking out music based on my mind that it's reading, and it bothers me, and there's going to be articles about it, and people are going to be freaking out. That's usually how it goes with with YouTube. So we'll see. Getting into the search itself, so for example, we can do like a quick visual K search. Very Spotify, obviously, right? Let me, just out of curiosity, let me just do rock. Just see what comes up. So we've got, We Will Rock You by Queen, rock and roll videos, best rocks, so if you search something more mainstream, it turns into Spotify, right? Although it does seem to be tailoring a little bit to things that I'm interested in. One OK Rock here. I find it hard to believe that someone that doesn't have my YouTube browsing history would have One OK Rock as like the third resultant artist for rock. I don't know where Kid Rock is coming from. I don't know if watching that Bad Religion video just like wrecked like the algorithm. If you've been on YouTube and you've watched like a lot of music videos, you'll know that it can actually be a little irritating if you click on something that's like music that you hate. There's not a lot of music that I hate, but there's like some music that I'm like, no, I don't want this. Because then YouTube once you watch it, YouTube will like latch onto it for a little while. It's almost like you have to like shake the algorithm out, like drown it out with like, with like J-rock music or something like that. So, but let's look at let's do J-rock. That was the first thing I did, right? It was J-rock when I searched. So we're already having some issues. Just typing in J-rock. I think some of you guys have like come into that issue before too, searching for Japanese rock. So we'll try. Okay, so we have best of J-rock as a top result. It's a playlist. So you'll notice that these are videos, right? So it's pulling from videos here. Isn't that interesting? You also notice that you've got tags here. So you can pick a playlist. You can pick songs. Let's see if there's any. It looks like J-rock's going to be a pretty bad tag for this, but just to show you how YouTube is grouping all of this together, right? You've got videos, you've got albums, because there are albums that are uploaded to YouTube that reflect that reflect things that are uploaded to Spotify or Apple Music a lot of the time. So Japanese rock, yeah. So for J-rock stuff, your best bet is still going to be, oops, I can spell. That would be nice. Well, it corrected it for me. Again, it's nice that the playlists are here to pick up at least that suggestion. Those are user-generated playlists from YouTube. So that's pretty nice. I think if you just search for the artist specifically, which is what a lot of us are used to doing, it's going to be a little bit easier. So One OK Rock is a very streaming service friendly artist, I suppose. But let's see what it's got in terms of albums. It's got most of its Western facing stuff, and then it starts to sort of spin off into unrelated things the further down you scroll. But it's got Ambitions and the 35 and change videos, right? Very very this is very YouTube, right? We're pretty used to that. We've got playlists created by users from YouTube, and then in terms of the artist itself, you've got One OK Rock. You've got My First Story as a suggestion. Oh, that's pretty interesting. So now you go into here, right? So this would be the artist page. Again, looks very, very Spotify, right? And you've got like your top songs, and then you've got your albums, and you can jump into your albums, and then the singles. The way this sort of is one-upping Spotify a little bit in that it does have direct access to these videos. By the way, you guys will have noticed a problem maybe with the videos. If you have, comment it in the chat, and I'll see what people say. I'm gonna reveal the problem, because this is actually a big problem I'm seeing with YouTube Music. I found it earlier. I want to see if you guys figure it out. So basically, you can click on radio like on Spotify, and it'll create something based off of One OK Rock. So I'm going to show off the radio feature, and I'm going to make sure to keep this muted so I don't get content ID'd. I'm going to show this off with v-kei. It's nice that they gave me a station for v-kei. Let's see. So you can shuffle, play, start radio, add playlist to library. So they're calling it a playlist. It's not immediately obvious, like if it's just a playlist or, if it's actually a radio station. But let's hit play. I'm going to assume it's pretty guaranteed to be shuffle play. Gonna pause that and mute this. So you've got Innocence by Royce. You'll notice it's a song. Let me see if it comes up on the bottom of the screen. Yes, it does. Okay. So you'll notice it comes up as a song here, right? So you're listening to a song. Now, so we're kind of in full on Spotify mode with the radio station and whatnot, right? So we're going to, so you can like it. It'll add it to your liked. I don't want to do it to mess with my library. I listen to I'm picky about what I like and stuff, so I'll have to go back and listen to Roy's to old Roy's, but it's very similar to Spotify, but here's where, let me see if it shows an interesting feature shows up. Okay, so all right, so we're at Mamireta, right, with Ojamashimasu, but this looks a little bit different than the last one, right? It doesn't look like the last one was just a song, we think. Yeah, see? So this is like the player, right? So it's just showing an album, right? But if I hit skip, what's this? Now we're at a video. Okay, so the radio doesn't just do these radios and these playlists, potentially they don't just do music ripped from the video. They also have the potential to do PVs, right? Now I noticed for me, and maybe this is just an exclusive thing for us with v-kei, maybe it's because YouTube has noticed something with like how often people are watching versus listening to music. But look at how many of these there are. Look at how many there are here. Let me know if you see that problem with the videos yet, by the way. So we have, it just turns into tons of videos after the first, pretty much after the first song. So it's interesting because in the app, and we'll see this in the app, you'll be able to play these songs and videos in the background. So it'll, which was already a feature in YouTube Red, but I'm not entirely sure how I feel about having all of these songs and PVs just as a listener, just like all together. I feel like it kind of feels like a cheap pull-in, yeah. And, maybe we can try doing shuffle play a couple of times and seeing what happens. Okay, so we've got a dive PV here that's playing, and you can see it's just like kind of out of sight, out of mind, unless you want to watch the music video. So the real question is like how bad this is going to like hurt your battery, which is something that I'm just going to have to test, and maybe I can like give a final review or something like that. But so yeah, just lots of PVs on here. Now I'm going to come back to the v-kei station in a second. But any comments you guys have in chat about what you've seen so far, feel free to let me know, and I'll definitely check that out in just a second. Let me go ahead and do One OK Rock. One OK Rock's a pretty good example. So far I'm not seeing like a plethora of bands. Let me see if I can find a station. Or yeah, let me just go into One OK Rock and do the radio. Make sure it's off. Okay, so we got Mighty Long Fall by One OK Rock, right? So One OK Rock's like a pretty easy jumping off point. Let's see what shows up. Okay, Zen 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 Say, the movie version by Radwimps. That was a huge song, and it's the song. It's not the PV. So I guess if they have the song, they're going to default to the song, and if they don't, they try and grab the PV maybe. so you've got Simple Plan and Con here. Simple Plan kind of links to 1OK Rock a little bit. You got Kanavoon, Cry Out by 1OK Rock, more 1OK Rock. So it's kind of more artist focused, and it's actually repeating itself. So, what's another one? Let's do the Gazette. We'll see how the Gazette is. The Gazette's like a tough one, right? Like, is the Gazette going to be... Okay, look. What are we seeing from the Gazette? So we're seeing some videos. Have you noticed the problem yet? Oh, you can really see with the Gazette, can't you? Have you noticed the problem yet? But we'll get to that in a second. But it's a big problem. Okay, so let's do top result, the Gazette, and let's hop in here. So what do we got? Okay, well, it's a lot of stuff from Stacked Rubbish and Regret. But it does have all of their music videos. So that's kind of cool. So it's a little hit and miss, right? I would technically say, I don't know, like, is this better or worse than, Spotify, for example? Apple Music, I don't think it's... Sorry, I didn't mean to go back. I wouldn't say it's better than Apple Music because you can get a lot more of the Gazette in Apple Music, I believe. Spotify, though, it's like, you're kind of jutting out ahead of Spotify with some of these music videos that were recently made available, but you're kind of falling behind in other ways, I guess. So let's click on Sadie because I'm curious to see if Sadie in YouTube has the same issue that Sadie in Spotify does. It looks like it does. Maybe it just doesn't have anything from them. Yeah. See, Sadie's been lumped in with an indie singer named Sadie. I won't play the music for copyright purposes, but there's that problem again. But you can see it in the PVs, right? So you'll also notice that the channels that are that have music you can subscribe to, I'm curious to know if they're different from the actual official YouTube channel. It looks like they are. I want to say that these correspond with the topics channels that you used to see on Spotify. But again, I'm seeing a lot of the laziness of the sort of the not laziness, but like the messiness when it comes to the more niche categories or niche categories of music like J-Rock and Visual K. Like I'm sure if I search who's someone that's trending right now, let's do a little pump just cause. Right? Look, nice and orderly. Everything's nice. You don't see that problem, that I noticed earlier. I don't see it here. We'll get to that in a second, even if we do Falling in Reverse, that's a popular band. Everything looks in order. If we go to the artist page, everything's pretty much all there. Obviously it's an American artist. I know it's not a fair comparison, but I am doing this to illustrate to you that it is kind of the same Spotify style situation with this caveat that you can get out ahead to Apple Music via the music videos. Okay, so speaking of music videos, I think I'm going to go ahead and here's the problem that I'm going to highlight. Okay, let's go back to that Visual K. All right. Okay, here's a problem, right? We're going to start the station. Okay, we're listening to Revelation by Royce, and that's BP Records, right? So if I want to check out VP Records, I can I go to the can I click on it? I don't know if I can click on it. Can I click on it? Weird. I don't know. Maybe you can't. But at least know it's BP Records. Open a mini player. Oh, well, that's fun. So now it's just like chilling out there. I don't know if I accidentally turned it on half speed. Also, I don't know why this is disliked. That's not true. That's lies. Oh, did I just dislike it? No. Come on. Why did I dislike a Roy's video? I'm fine with Roy's. Like it. There. Now just unlike it because I'm neutral on that song. Sorry, sometimes I like screw up with my likes and dislikes on things. But anyway, all right. So, what's another? Do you see the problem yet? Let me drag it out just a little bit more. Okay, Astaria Marmalade Butterfly, done by Astaria official channel. Okay, cool. And I'll go ahead and do that. I'm noticing it's pulling in a lot of the artists that I liked. Dive. I miss Dive. Dive's really cool. From Danger Crew. Got a little bit of Komodo Dragon here. Now we got, courtesy of BP Records. Now we got, we got Oz, Rain Delay, by, who is this? China Doll 942? I don't remember seeing that on Spotify. I'm not aware of the association. Weird. Okay, well, we'll just go to True by Exist Trace. Purple Stone. Oh, there's their official channel. I'll make sure to check that out later. Oh, okay. Mediana. Wait, it's coming from Kiryu999. I'm pretty sure Kiryu's not related to Mediana. So the problem with YouTube Red right now, and it's a big problem, like I would be like very irritated if I was a promoter personally, is YouTube or YouTube Music. YouTube Music is pulling in all of the videos that are up there that have slipped under the radar of their copyright algorithm. So any unofficial uploads are now being shown inside of a paid streaming service. So like imagine you had pirated, uploaded music that was getting sucked into Spotify. Or even worse, Apple Music. That would be a shocker, right? So this is going to be a problem, like a big problem. Obviously here we've had multiple streams with promoters telling you about the importance of metrics with artists and things like that. Unofficial uploads aren't very helpful. And look, it's aren't helpful to artists because artists need to see the metrics that they're that they're getting from like other countries so they can know where they're big or where they're getting big in or getting popular in, and then they'll come visit them. So if you don't give the official channel, like your views or your likes and your shares and all that, they won't see it on their side that all these people from America or all these people from Mexico or Chile or the UK like their stuff, and so they won't even have it in their head that we should go tour internationally. And we've talked about that, right? In the past, but at the end of the day, we can only say it if you're gonna watch something like this. Like I've been thrown onto this video, right, just by clicking through here. Granted, as an example, but I just gave Kiryu999 a view, through this service that I'm paying, where I usually just assume I'm doing everything like free and legally, or not hurting any artists because at least the artists are getting a cut or something like that. So, and yet, got to unofficially upload a video. I don't want to like overly harp it into the ground. And I mean, like, if on a personal level you watch, whatever you watch, like that's up to you. And that's not really something that I judge, like, personally, we just try to we as VKH, as an organization, as a press company, we don't endorse like unofficial uploads and unofficial sharing unofficial PVs and stuff like that. But we're just here to educate. We're not here to judge or anything like that. At least of all fans, listeners, we're just gonna have people on and they're just gonna explain, like Lori was on, explaining how you can help advocate for small artists by like asking that people share, official PVs, because like the extra 100 views matters to them. The fact that they have an extra 100 views coming out of the States. That makes a difference to them. Or like you have Rubob talking about like some of the problems, with unofficially uploaded videos, right? So it's not like a huge deal. But I can judge a company like YouTube that is supposed to know better in terms of respecting the artists and putting the customer in a situation, right, where they're under the assumption that they're doing this legally. Like, this is the alternative to piracy. This is like music streaming. This is what killed internet piracy. So everybody's just under the assumption. It's like, look, it's on YouTube Red. Like, it's on YouTube, or on YouTube Music. It's on YouTube Music. If it's on Spotify, if it's on Apple Music, I'm giving the artist a cut. So I think I've harped on this long enough. But obviously, this is kind of a big problem. This is kind of a big deal, at least from my perspective. It's kind of a big oversight. I'm a little concerned in terms of, I don't know how we're going to handle that just in general. The thing that I can imagine is that those videos are being monetized by the people that own the copyright. Because that does happen on the back end sometimes. Like that does happen where someone uploads somebody else's content and the person is given the option to just leave the video up. But at the very least, like if someone illegally uploads your video and you get like 600,000 views from it, like you may just want to leave it up. And then YouTube allows you to claim all of the money that, was like earned. You can put ads on the video and then claim all the money, even though someone else illegally uploaded your video. So it's possible that they're doing that as a workaround, as like, all right, look, they're pulling in videos that are already uploaded. We missed these. But like, here's your option. Do you want to just like put ads on the video? And some Japanese band's like, yeah, put ads on the video. We don't have a YouTube channel. Just, whatever. I don't know that. I'm saying it's a possibility as like a workaround, but it's still not giving the metrics on an official channel, which is like the really, really big deal for us. Like that's the one that matters to us, right? Like giving them money by, watching videos on, with ads, like that's fine too. Like it's good to support artists, but the one that's like the listeners, the international fans, the ones that have like your selfish interest, like your personal interest, is you want to make sure that these bands see that you're viewing their videos, so that they see that people in the UK, people in the US are viewing their videos. So anyway, I think I've ranted enough about that. Let me go ahead and show you what it looks like about, let me show you what it looks like on the phone. But what do you guys think? Anything you got in chat? You got this, Jeff. Thank you. Appreciate it. I think this was a guess for the thing that they don't update. Yeah, I would say that's another problem, is that this is still very clearly in beta mode, like if we go back and do v-kei again, we got Rides in Rebellion. Let me just shuffle play. All right, we're at Cloud. Roy's Egoist. That's an unofficially uploaded PV, So there we go again. Anyway, so it's like that's like it just seems like a really shitty situation to put your customer in, especially like if you're aware that that's an unofficially uploaded PV, and if you're a fan and you care about that, and you go and you pay for this service and you get thrown into that. I can see people having an issue with that, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the phone. Let's see if this works. Border. Oops. There we go. Okay. So we're here on the phone. I personally like the phone app a lot better. It's just, this is more suited for a phone app, to be completely honest. Let me see how this is coming up on stream. We're gonna wrap up in about the next 10 minutes or so, but it's a lot cooler on the phone. It's obviously made for the phone. It was mobile first. I find myself finding the things I'm interested in a lot quicker. Now here's under favorites, your mixtape, endless personalized music. So let's click that and see how that goes. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm going to pause that. Well, actually, I don't think it's going to actually play any music. Is it? Let's see. Well, I can just make it quiet. Anyway, so yeah, this is actually a song that I'm a fan of. Don't judge on my rappings. All right. Let me see here. So we've got Creature by Lynch. Okay, cool. I'm sorry, guys. I'm checking the stream, just making sure it's not playing. So, yeah. So it knows that, you know, I've listened to this PV like a gajillion and a half times, so it's giving me the track. This is Riot by Sim. This is very good so far. Varian, I think one of our viewers recommended that to me. Amberlin, yeah. So this is pretty interesting. And that's what this if you see this switch up here, I believe that's what is the switch for? Okay, yeah. So you can do oh yeah. I see. I forgot about this. Or they had it on, I think they had this in the browser, but but on here it's like, it makes more sense, right? So you can play audio only, or you can play video only, or you can play audio and video, right? Can you see that? So that's pretty cool. I would just say in general, there's like a lot more going on here. They also have a feature. Let's see. They have a downloads feature where they will make an offline mixtape for you. They put 20 songs together for me. That's what and that was just randomly. Let me see if I can try and simulate again. Maybe I can remove it. I have to remember how to do it now. I'll have to pull it up, sorry. But basically it's a offline mixtape. It came up as a prompt. Basically it just takes a lot of songs that you think that they think that you'll like, and they randomize and they download it in the background, and then you just have music on your phone. Let me see if I can let's see. Okay, I guess no actions required by me. It looks like. So let me just like pretend I'm listening to some music. So we got some Lynch. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I know who that is. A lot of Lynch, Amberlin, and Snow the Product, and Sim. I'm impressed that they have the audio for Sim. Okay, let me go back and see if this is showing now. It's not showing. Well, shoot. Downloads. Download an offline mixtape. And it looks like I can set how many tracks. Pretty cool, right? So let's say I want 41 tracks. Cancel out, and it's starting to do the thing. So on the phone, it's a lot more impressive, right? Like, this is something I could get into. This is actually like a little bit more integrated, I would say, than most of the other like personalize your stuff things in streams, in music streams. I really think that like this, it's pretty good, right? Like what they've got. Like I do listen to some K-pop. I listen to Marmoset's Scarlord. There's that Bad Religion song. I'm not sure how I feel about that one yet. That one's a little too. I don't like to think about politics when I'm listening to rock music. I don't know. And maybe that seems a little ironic, but got some Mudvayne. So this is it's pretty accurate. The question is the scope. And it seems to be better on the phone. And I've always found YouTube itself to actually be a lot better on the phone. Desktop always seemed to be a nightmare to me. Mobile always seemed to be a lot more doable. Recommended music videos is pretty on point here. But I'm sure we'll have the same issue if we go to v-kei. And we click through enough of them, we will get to see where we're at unofficial things. So the only thing I could possibly recommend in that case, sorry about that. Oh, don't want to play. I want to play this, but at some point I just have to be like, also. You can kind of see we're getting a little bit irrelevant here as we scroll down a little bit. So unfortunately, when it comes to v-kei, the app does seem to be falling apart in terms of suggestions. I like that it starts to get like this here. This is just going off of there's by in my name, in my username. And not bisexual, by the way, but they went towards that. I don't know how these three things, are related. Really, you can see it's kind of in like an early phase. There seems to be some potential, like this offline mixtape thing was pretty cool. There's definitely some pretty cool things about it, but there's some things that are really hit and miss, and really, the one big issue I have that is like, how can I recommend this to listeners? Like, we spend this time getting them all psyched up to like support artists through like official links, and then like we just have like a streaming services pulling in unofficial videos. Also, as a customer, I feel like that's a little dirty. Like I pay for Apple Music because I want music. So I'm guessing the consensus is it's not very v-kei friendly, is what I just saw in the chat. So, unfortunately, it is and it isn't, I guess, would be the easiest way to describe this. So this is like my first impression, I guess, like my hands-on. It is early build. I don't want to give it too much flack. I think the background DJ is pretty interesting. It's pretty effective, especially if you're willing to branch out to J-rock and rock in general. I'm seeing a lot of acceptable things here, but in terms of narrowing it down, this is this isn't that ideal, compared to say. Compared to Spotify, right? Even Spotify, which I'm actually working on some Spotify playlists and things like that. As sparse as the music is, or has been in the past, I'm at least able to like go in and just like, add or remove from like my own special playlists of what music is on there. And there's like a fair amount of music on there. And what's nice about Spotify is that it's basic and it's contained, and you know what you're getting. So it's like, all right, it's not available, but I can add it here. I can add it to a playlist. I do know it's from an official source. I can download it, etc., etc. So this is like my dance until you die playlist that's just got all kinds of like J-Rock and v-kei like pseudo dance music in it, or remixes and things like that. And then you can, it's much more robust and established, I think, just compared to, even the home. You can see where they got their inspiration, right? So this is the big boy one. So yeah, I would say we can end the journey there. I hope that was like a little enlightening. I'm gonna say like hold off for now, for YouTube music, unless you already do YouTube Red. I personally do YouTube Red just to skip ads, and just because I can, and it was. Yeah, it's hard to go back once you start skipping the ads, but then the music part, I would actually argue that the music itself is not strong enough of a selling point to be paying $9.99 for. I think at this point the YouTube Red with its no ads and like the TV shows is probably more of a $9.99 friendly figure. So yeah, if you guys like this video, please leave a like and comment your thoughts on do you think that YouTube Red, that there's potential here that I could improve? Do you think it might just be it might just take a really long time? Do you think it's going to be very viable? The story is that this is supposed to replace Google Play in certain fashions. If I looked that up correctly. Like Google Play Music, which is a little alarming if that's the case, because let's see. Yeah, Google Play Music will become YouTube Music with user uploads. That was as of May 24th. Yeah, so I'll have to check in if you guys use Google Music. If anyone uses or used to use Google Music and you were impacted by this, please let me know. I'm an iPhone user. It's tied to my day job. I do iPhone apps and stuff. So so I haven't had a chance to delve into the Google Music side of things. Let me know if you were impacted by this, and for everyone else. First of all, a special thank you to Gula for the $40 super chat. She couldn't be here live, but she actually did donate $40 ahead of time. Jeez, man. I don't know if we're worthy, but we really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm trying to see if there was I don't think there was a message for it. If there was any other messages or chat things that you guys wanted to talk about, you can join me in about 15 minutes. We're going to be doing a VKH Live After Hours. The link is in the description. If there's any super chats that I missed here, I'll be reading them at the start of the of that stream. So again, thanks for watching, and what do you think of YouTube Red? I'm guessing it's not a big deal. Let's see if there's anyone in the chat. They need to work on linking to official pages to help with views. Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. All right, yeah. I will go ahead and end the stream then. I will see you guys at the after party, the VKH Live After Hours. And yeah. It'll definitely be interesting. It's as I navigate to end the stream. I'm just thinking. Last thoughts are it's definitely going to be really interesting to see how certain artists and labels react to this. I think it is not that great that, you know, you have those unofficial streams on there. Hopefully they can fix that. Interesting. Anything YouTube does is always interesting. All right, guys, take it easy.